Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. It's time again for our weekly painting progress. And happy President's Day to those of us in the US. Hopefully you're enjoying your day off, because I know I will. Not that I'm filming this on President's Day, obviously, because that would be like immediately in the... Anyway, so we'd have some kind of weird time paradox. Not the most prolific of weeks this week for me, but, some weeks are like that, and I don't know, sometimes I just don't have the urge to pick up the paintbrush when the weather is funky. And it's been super cold in our house, and when my hands are cold, I just don't want to paint. But I did paint a couple things, maybe not that good, mind you, but they did get painted. So anyway, I know not everybody's super interested in the Power Rangers stuff, but I did go ahead and get the Red Ranger done. I believe at this point all I have left is the Black Ranger of the core, 4 or 5? I don't even remember how many. Red, blue, yellow, pink. Okay, 5, yeah. Anyway, so he's done. I don't know why I tried to do the black highlights. I'm not a big fan of it, and I probably won't do it on any of the other ones, but it's done, and I'm not super pleased with how his face turned out. You can see it's a little bit wobbly there with the silver lining around his face where the T-Rex motif is supposed to be. But he's done. If you aren't aware, these figures for the game and for the RPG, because I know Renegade does sell this stuff through their website if you wanted to do it as a tabletop RPG. They are a little bit, and I mean by a little bit, like, even beyond Kingdom Death size, larger than a typical human-sized model. Our GW Inquisitor Witch Hunter guy always being my go-to figure. So just be aware of that. And then I gave him some company. We got GAO Silver finished from, what was it called, like Power Rangers Wild Force or something. This guy was one from the expansions. That one expansion that I think I did a video on. And I can't think of the name of it, because it's upstairs in various states of disrepair. I've painted a good chunk of it, and I'm starting little Kyonshi guy cannon fodder dudes that came with that set as well. But at least I've got a good chunk of playable heroes. And that is my goal, is to actually sit down and play this game now that I've got a ton of it painted. And when I say I've got a ton of it painted, I really do, because I went ahead and started in on most of the villains in the core box. This is the Nasty Knight, I believe his name was. I don't have no idea what he's called in Japanese. He's from Zoo Ranger, the original American Power Rangers. That dragon on his shoulders. And he is supposed to have this red interior on his shoulder pads there. I did try to get that in there. Kind of hard to see, but I did nonetheless. I did try to do a little bit of highlighting there, and I don't know if the semi-gloss and just the shininess of it all is kind of making that hard to see. He is about the same size. So all of the main villains from this game and all of the heroes are going to be a bit larger than the cannon fodder, which, believe it or not, I did actually paint some of. So here we have these aren't the original bad guy dudes in Power Rangers, Zoo Ranger, whatever. And all of the gray wash that I tried to use, it seems to have disappeared on them for the most part. Black wash too. I tried to put some black in between all of the rock hands, but you know what? I'm not gonna stress on it. So just to give you an idea, you can see here, again, the heroes and the villains are a little bit larger than the actual generic grunt baddies. And again, grabbing some models that I have handy, a Mantic and GW figure. You can see here that they're going to be a little bit bigger than a lot of the other stuff out there. Not that there's a lot of Japanese superhero tabletop models or even stuff inspired by it that I can really think of. I know Galaxy Defenders had their Guyver units, basically. Homages to the Guyver. That's about all I can think of. I keep talking with my son, who's really gotten all into Kamen Rider lately, about doing some kind of sculpting, because he really wants those, Kamen Rider style villains. I do too. So if any of you brave souls out there want to point me in the right direction to get some of that stuff printed up and just designed, that would be great. So I did about half of these. I want to say there's 12 of these putty guys in the basic core box for that Heroes of the Grid game that these two came with. And so I obviously have another 6 to go. And then they have the big super puttied, multi-headed, multi-armed guys that were all squished together. One of these days I'm going to have to watch the original version of Power Rangers. I'm just curious. I've never gotten to see it. At least other than bits and pieces here and there, you know. And finally, to round out enough of this Power Rangers talk, we have another of the bad guys from the core set. I mean, he's just a skeleton with a sword. Wouldn't have been my first pick. I guess it was supposed to be a memorable villain. I mean, I can remember seeing it as a teenager. Maybe it was in college. I don't even remember now. I mean, it's not the best paint job. Then again, I'm going to argue it's not even the best sculpt. It's very blah in its detailing. But you know what? Again, for a tabletop figure, I think it's going to be okay just as is. Wow, that's kind of crazy. What's going on there? I don't know. The camera's got a life of its own. So that's it for Power Rangers stuff this week, which is enough. I am trying to work through the box. I think I have one more basic villain, which is that Madame Woe. We'll get her done. And then we got Rita herself and the putties. And I should have the Black Ranger finished up, so we can move on from there. How about something else? Cleanse the palette, right? So I went ahead, as always, painting Raging Hero stuff. I did an awful job on the face, and for whatever reason with that long white hair makes me think of Benoit from Raging Heroes itself. Was that intentional? I don't know. I thought this was a cool sculpt. And one of the nice things about this set, I don't even remember which set this was. Maybe it was the Angels versus Demons or something. It was somewhat recently. They had the option of having all the models with or without wings. And I thought this guy with that big base and his holy book or mage book or whatever. Spell book, that's the right word. I thought he'd look pretty cool with the wings. Not that I did a good job. I just did a lot of dry brushing. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with them. Some of the feather details are better on others. I don't know. I just did a lame print. But yeah, that face needs improvement, and that's on me. I will wholly admit that one. And then to keep him company, and I think this is from the same set, we've got the Keymaster. And he's even got a funky key base to go along with it. I thought that was kind of cool. The key axe. Again, so-so paint job. I tried. I'm not happy with the interior of that cloak at all, but it is what it is at this point. Getting in there with a paintbrush now that he's attached to the base is going to be a hassle. It is a neat sculpt. So we got the Keymaster. Now we're going to need the Gatekeeper, I believe. I don't know if I have a model to appropriately convey that. So, not the most exciting, but you know what? Honestly, real life was just rearing its head in the way of things this week. So, despite all those setbacks, which there were a considerable hefty amount, I feel like I still got stuff done, which is always good. You know, sometimes it's quite cathartic to sit down and paint. And even if it's not the best paint job, it is nice to get stuff finished. And I am absolutely looking forward to it, even though I have this 3-day weekend and I've got the day off while I am posting this. Hopefully we're going to sit down and actually try playing this game, because I feel like there's enough stuff already painted that we can actually give it a go. So fingers crossed there. We'll have a link to Raging Heroes 3D printed stuff. Actually, let's stick a regular link. I'll stick them both. Why not, right? One of the nice things about the Raging Heroes 3D printed stuff on their Heroes Infinite is the fact that even if you don't have a printer, a lot of these end up getting cast in resin, and they do offer prints as well. You know, I personally rather have everything go through my mini factory since it's kind of a nice one-stop shop. But, I mean, actually Raging Heroes has been pretty good about keeping all of their stuff updated and posted on their own website. It's just, I don't like having a million different subscriptions here and there and everywhere, you know? But they do have some cool stuff. I mean, I've been subscribing to their Patreon, or their page now, since almost its inception. I mean, there's a couple months I've skipped, but honestly, it's got really solid releases on a monthly basis. So kudos to them. They know what they're doing. Anyway, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to stop talking and let you guys relax, enjoy, comment, do as you wish. And we will see you soon. This has been Lord Tamberlane, as always, with Obscurities and Miniatures. And like I said, hopefully we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.